Hello everyone. This video is on trees and I am currently in an avocado tree. And eating avocado is delightful because the avocados are gifts. They're able to upgrade our consciousness when we eat them. We are what we eat. And you might think, well, really? Food can upgrade your consciousness? Yes, it can. Absolutely. If you go on meditation retreats, they're very, very careful about what food you eat. They make sure it's organic. They make sure that it was cultivated ethically and sustainably because they understand that when you meditate, you become very sensitive to the effect of what you're taking in through all of your senses, actually. And so we dedicate certain amounts of time to being really conscious about making sure that what we're taking in has been produced in a certain way. And there's a beauty in that. And of course, we live busy lives and it's not always practical to be able to do that. And some of us are not in the privileged position to be able to eat organic or to take the time to know where things come from or have that added expense. But if you are, there's a real beauty in taking the time to know where your food came from and to have a relationship with the tree that has given you part of itself so that you can heal as you walk around on the ground. You're communicating with the plants. If you walk barefoot, the plants can pick up what you actually need in your diet and then maybe create it in the ecosystem. Isn't that cool? One of my friends shared that amazing fact with me the other day, and I did not know that. And so we're just so privileged to be around plants that feed us. And really, I know we like to pump ourselves up and think that we're the human species and, we're the best thing on earth, when actually we just are little workers for the trees. Because when we eat fruits, the seeds then get pooped out by mammals and spread the plants. And so the plants created humans so that they could move around because they don't have feet. So they create the mammals to eat their seeds and then poop around so that they can move into different areas. So really, that's what humans are. Sorry to disappoint you. My cats are always coming up in the trees. They communicate with the trees. There's a symbiosis that goes on between fungi and trees. Trees couldn't exist without fungi. Fungi provide essential elements to the trees so that they can actually grow really, really large. So they have an agreement with fungi. We have an agreement with trees. Trees create the oxygen that we breathe. So we're all a big collective, which is wonderful. You can also place your hand on a tree and receive messages. Shamans know this because you can have a shaman that puts his hand on a tree that's maybe 10 miles away from another shaman who's put his hand or her hand on a tree, and they can send messages through the wood wide web. Now, isn't that amazing? They don't need telephones, they communicate through the wood wide web. And this is interspecies communication, and we've lost touch with how to do it. But shamans in the forest can do that. Buddha sat under a tree and then he gained enlightenment. The tree is part of that process. The tree helped upgrade his consciousness. A lot of gurus sit in forests and receive information from the trees, vibrations from the trees that are translated into sounds, primordial sounds and mantras that are given to humans that upgrade their consciousness. But nobody really talks about that. They just think everything's mind made from man, and it's not. Most of the technology that upgrades human consciousness is not man made. So that's interesting to know. Also, beings can come into trees and live in trees. They can also come into certain animals like snakes. Snakes house a lot of non-physical beings, and I've talked about this before. This might be too woo-woo for some people, but just bear with me. Snakes like being in trees too. My snakes communicate with the trees. They love the wood. Well, there's thousands of ants on this tree. You can communicate with ants and you can come to an arrangement so they don't destroy your kitchen. You kind of need to cooperate. Often they come into our human environments for water. So if you have a bowl of water with pebbles, they can then just have the water off the pebbles. And so we have to learn to not destroy the ants and poison the ants, or not to just destroy things that are inconveniencing us. We have to learn how to communicate with them so we can come up with workarounds, because we live so close together to one another. And those workarounds are going to happen the more that we evolve and are able to return back to our natural state where we can communicate with the plants and the animals. We've just forgotten how to, but the Native Americans knew how to do it. The Aborigines knew how to do it. I'm sure the Egyptians knew how to do it. I'm sure that people many years ago who were spending time in nature knew things that we now have forgotten. So we just need to have a remembering of how to perceive finer levels of reality so that we can suffer less and so that we don't destroy the planet. So I'll just say a little prayer. May we all learn interspecies communication in this life. May we have the ability to know that we are not alone, and there are so many things that are here to upgrade our consciousness and help us heal. And may we make contact with those plants and animals and know that they are our family. Jai Gurudev.